So the reason for legalizing cannabis, or the major reason for legalizing cannabis, is not the reason that you might expect. There's obviously a very good case to be made that people should be entitled to make their own decisions with their minds and their bodies by taking recreational cannabis and cannabis for medicinal reasons. However, the major reason for legalizing cannabis is because it's by far our most effective fuel oil crop. And this is probably the reason why it was made illegal, along with a host of other reasons connected to industry and the machinations of a cadre of American industrialists in the early 20th century. So the likes of Carnegie wanted to protect the steel industry, DuPont wanted to protect the textile industry, the Rockefellers would have wanted to protect the oil industry, and the pharmaceutical industry would have wanted to be protected from the continued use of cannabis as a medicine, since it was used as a medicine back then, and over-the-counter medicine available in pharmacies, and replacing that with the likes of paracetamol, ibuprofen, and aspirin. So yeah, it's especially important now since there's a lot of warfare. There are currently resource wars going on this planet. There's one going on currently in Ukraine. There have been resource wars going on in Iraq, and in the rest of the Middle East, wars connected to competition over our diminishing reserves of fossil fuels. So it should always have been supplemented by an increased growth in cannabis, which can be grown worldwide. It has been supplemented anyway with the continued cultivation of palm oil. And as we all know, large areas of the rainforest have been cut down to produce palm oil to supplement our diminishing reserves of fossil fuels, i.e. crude oil. The war in Ukraine is largely over coal, uranium, and natural gas reserves. However, the oil issue is bound up with all that sort of thing in any case. And there's an issue to do with nitrate fertilizer, also connected to the natural gas conflict. And this is a very, very big problem for Western agriculture. And we need to start growing cannabis crops, big crops of cannabis in rotation, since one of the ancillary benefits of doing so would be that cannabis, hemp crops, fix nitrogen in the soil, along with a host of other benefits for soil health, and the added bonus of also being a great way of sequestering large amounts of carbon dioxide, since these crops grow incredibly large. Well, there's an incredible amount of yield with the crop. So it's, by far, it would be a great boon to our societies and our civilizations to have legalized cannabis for these reasons, and may well pacify the globe by satiating its huge and increasing demand for natural resources. So that's why we should legalize cannabis.